Hello and welcome to another episode of She Converse, where community meets conversation. That's female community. And I'm really, really excited for this episode because sitting just across from me is one of the people that actually got me into the career I am in now and has encouraged me to fulfill that career, because there were times where I was like, no, I'm just going to be here, just going to do my thing. But she's been really like a driving force in my life and so many lives of other people. And I'm so excited to introduce her. But before I do, there's a new change. There's a new theme, and the theme is change. So we did start, and now the theme is changed. So all of our conversations will be around the theme change. So I hope you're really ready for that, because I am, babe. Let me just have a swig of my water, just a bit parched. Yeah. So thirsty. Yeah, as you can see, my background is a little bit different, and that can only mean one thing. We're in a studio, babe. Ampersounds, to be precise. And so if you do need any type of hiring of a podcast studio, please, please, please go to Ampersounds. Okay? It's AMPERSOUNDS, Ampersounds. Remember, I told you. So yeah, let's get right into it. As I said, our theme is change, and sitting across from me is a pioneer in the education space and an inclusion advocate, which I myself am as well, turned full-time creative because she got time now. It's none other than my lovely Victoria Loughran. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, actually. How are you?
You look well.
Thank you.
So yeah, I know you. Basically, Victoria actually gave me the job. She gave me the job. I'll never forget the first day that I came to the school that I'm working at currently, and I was given a child to look after as one-to-one. And I did the best that I could. Obviously, I did have some experience, but when you go into a new space, you're always kind of trying to do your best. And what I really loved about her approach, obviously this was months after, was that she actually leaned on the people that were already one-to-ones to let her know like how I did, basically. And I've never really kind of seen that before. And I think that just shows the type of character that she has, and the character towards her colleagues as well, and the people that she manages. And now I'm a full-blown teacher, and she has been, you know, one of the people that have been so instrumental in that career path. So first of all, thank you.
No problem. You had
Thank
it in
you
you.
so much. Well,
You had it in you.
well, you took it out, girl. So yeah, enough about me. It's all about you, babe.
Yeah.
So what's your age, if you want to say, and one word that describes your life or you in this very moment? It doesn't have to be this very moment. It can be like lately, currently.
I'm 59. I'm 59 years old.
Fall in the masses, mate.
And one word, tumultuous, I think would be a word.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's, parts of it are absolutely terrifying, but parts of it are absolutely thrilling.
Yeah.
And every so often you're in the middle of, I'm really excited about this, and you're thinking, oh my God, this is awful.
Yeah.
People are expecting things of me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's normally when things are going good, when suddenly you're like, or I wake up in the middle of the night going, oh no, I didn't do that, did I?
Yeah.
But it's great. It really is good.
It looks good on you. It really looks good on you. You're probably wondering what it is, but we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. So, as you know, our theme is change. And I'm going to start off light. What's one thing that has changed in your morning routine?
One thing that's changed in my morning routine. Do you want to know what it is?
Yeah.
And this is a weird one because it not only affects me, it affects my husband as well.
Yeah.
Not having the phone on first thing in the morning.
Babe.
So we're not getting those calls.
That is.
Saying, I'm not coming in today. Or the phone going,
Yeah,
ding, ding, ding.
yeah.
And kind of, oh, that's another person. That's another. And then when you get those calls 3, 4, 5 times in a row.
You're just up.
One morning I got them 19 times.
19?
19 times.
19 people couldn't come in?
Yep.
What?
19 people couldn't come in. Yeah, that was a big change for everyone.
Yeah.
That was a big change for everyone.
I could imagine. The lions just hit differently, don't they?
They do. They really do. And the morning's obviously a lot slower.
Yeah.
I was still up early. I still go around do my thing and potter around.
Yeah.
But it's a much more relaxed situation.
And it's on your own terms.
Yeah, it's a one when you know we get those letters, you get them every year saying you are this grade and this is how much you earn and these are many hours you earn. And I looked at mine the other year and it said for 32 and a half hours. Wow. I thought, I never do 32 and a half hours. Because from like 7 o'clock in the morning, you're sitting there thinking, well, who's going to go there and who's going to go there and who's going to go there. So when you're away from it, you realise how your day starts and how your day ends. And the day was starting at, well, you would wake up, for instance, about 6:30 thinking, anticipating those calls. You know what I mean?
It's not even you, it's your body like getting into that routine. Yeah. I'm glad you have a new routine. Because
it's a lovely routine.
Yeah. Enough of that.
I have breakfast now as well. That's why I say it's very important to have breakfast. I never used to have breakfast, and now I get up and I have breakfast.
Do you have like a ritual breakfast, or does it change all the time?
I have overnight oats if I fancy it. Otherwise, I have a bit of granola. But it's breakfast. That's the main thing. Yeah, and I hydrate.
See that for a teacher, that's a joke. That's actually, are you having a laugh? Yeah. Because between break, lunch, break duty, if you're on break duty, oh my gosh. Some teachers are on break duty every single day.
Yeah.
Sorry, see you later. My one break duty, I dread all the time. Why? Because that's the time that I have to make the coffee.
Yeah.
It just, anyway. I'm glad you can have your overnight oats. We're trying to get there, slowly but surely. So I'm going to talk about your biggest change that's happened in your life. You have retired.
I have retired.
You've retired, and congratulations.
Thank you.
On your retirement, because you have you've blessed the education space in such a way that so many people have been impacted by you and what you've brought. I'm going to take it just a little bit backwards. So there's been a lot of changes, I'm sure, in your life. Can you think of the first most prominent change that you've had to make that changed the course of your life and maybe made you think about being in education?
No, I think obviously deciding that I was going to become a teacher because that wasn't something that I'd ever considered. I'd always thought, I'm never going to teach. I'm never going to teach. I'm never going to teach, because I knew what type of pupil I was. And I believe in karma, even from a very, very, very young age. And I knew what I was like, and I was horrendous. And the other thing is, I was very aware of the fact that I had some exceptional teachers. Even at that age, you know, when you're like 16 and you think you're really being rude to this woman and she's actually doing you the world of good, but you can't stop yourself because you're an idiot. Yeah. And you just keep going, I'm going to keep going and keep going, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep going. Yeah. And I thought, I'm never going to be as good as them, so I'm not going to, because this person has patience. This person has patience, because I would have backhanded me a long time ago.
Same,
you know what I mean?
Same.
But I didn't, so it wasn't anything that I never entertained it.
Yeah.
And then I did, I ran an archive. I got an archive together and I ran this archive, which was really good. And I used to do photographic workshops for children. And I loved that because it was very, you were doing something fun, and the children wanted to be there, and it seemed like there was no pressure, but there really was a lot of pressure because it was the olden days where you had film, so you'd give them these film cameras, send them away for a week, they'd come back, and then we'd develop these films. And obviously at that point, I was like, oh my God, if I get a child and they get nothing, what if they get no pictures, what if they get nothing at all? But there was always something, do you know what I mean? There was always something really beautiful there. And then one of the teachers said to me, and it just grew, it got bigger and bigger. It started off with like 2 schools, and then it was 3 schools, and then it was 6 schools, and then there were like secondary schools that wanted to join in and stuff like that, because I used to do it for Tower Hamlets. And one of the teachers said, oh, you should consider teaching because you're really good at bringing it out in there. And I thought, and I actually really enjoyed going into the classroom, particularly with the primary schools. Yeah. And so I thought, all right then, might as well give it a go. And I applied to do that old-fashioned GTP.
GTP? What the heck is that?
Graduate training program. Because I finally remembered I actually had a degree. So
guys, it was called a GTP.
GTP.
Imagine that.
And I thought I went to Newham because I thought by then I had 2 children. That I went to Newham, and they put me in a school in Canning Town. Now, this is going to sound really bizarre to you, but even though I grew up in Newham, I had never been to Canning Town because Canning Town was not a place that you went.
I know that.
You stayed on...
Yeah.
Canning Town was...
Yeah.
I grew up by West Ham Park. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was just a different thing.
It was a different time.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
And I went to this school in Canning Town. And it was good. I had a really lovely time there. It was really lovely. I was allowed to do what I wanted. Well, not what I wanted, it was different. It was a different era. It was almost like you were able to... I don't know whether they allowed me to do it or they just let me to do it because I got results. That's the other thing I was to say.
I'm good with the children. You can do what you want.
She gets the results and let her do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what everybody else was doing, but this is what we were doing in our year group. And it was really funny. My work partner was in the other year group. He was an actual archaeologist. He was a qualified archaeologist.
Wow.
And so we both came from completely different backgrounds, and we went, we want to do this. And it was an amazing combo.
I could imagine.
And I can remember one year going, let's do Shakespeare. And this is before anybody
Archaeologist
did Shakespeare.
and photographer, Shakespeare.
Before anybody did it. And he went, oh yeah, let's go on, let's give it a go. And it was absolutely wonderful. And then the next year the teacher went, the English head went, you know what, see if we can do a whole school thing. And then gradually it wasn't it wasn't the big bugbear that everybody thought it was going to be. And I remember talking to someone recently and they said, I remember that day when I walked into, because she used to work in that school as well, I walked in and I just heard this year 4 child going, a plague on both your houses. And she thought, that's Victoria. I never thought we'd have Shakespeare in Canning Town in a primary school. But it was really good fun and they loved it. So that was a huge change. That was a huge change. And just thinking, there was a point when I realised that actually, and it was my husband that said it to me, he said, you're not a teacher, you're an educator. Because you talk to the parents, you talk to the children about what goes on outside their lives and how it comes into the classroom and how they can take their lives and bring it. They've got as much to contribute as I have.
Absolutely.
To teaching them. Do you know what I mean?
I think what you just said there is literally how I choose what type of teacher that I am.
You are an educator. Yeah. I see that. There's a few of you in the school that are educators. You choose to educate, and you do. You educate the parents as well. Yeah. You educate the children. You give them self-respect.
And I feel like it's because we're being educated as well.
Yeah.
I always teach the children and I tell them, like, you know, you can only go so high if you think you know everything. There are some people that may catch on to this work really quickly, but some people, it might be a process. Does that mean that you're all not geniuses? No.
Exactly.
It just means that you have different levels of processing things.
Yeah.
Some people process it quickly, some people process it but you actually teach me some things. Like, I've learned so many things being in this class. So yeah, I think being an educator is much more than just telling children what to do.
Yeah.
And I think that is what kind of separates a teacher from an educator. And yeah, you taught me that anyway. So yeah, talking a bit more about the education space. Obviously, when did you become a teacher? What year?
2006.
2006. So that's wow, 26 years. You've
No,
become a
20 years, darling.
20 years.
20
Sorry.
years.
Please. I'm still a baby teacher.
20 years, yeah.
We did do addition last term.
You're tired.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, what changes have you seen from 2006 to now? And like from when you started to when you retired?
Good and bad changes. Good and bad changes. When I first started, as I said, there did bring out, there were lots of government incentives.
Yeah.
Like the literacy hour and the numeracy hour and lots of frameworks and things like that. But that said, although we were being dictated to by the government, as I said, I was fortunate enough to be in a school, and I think it was generally the case in a lot of Newham schools, where they said, you know what, as long as the results are coming, we don't care how you get them. As long as you do the right thing, as long as you do right by the children and you encourage the children, it was still pretty much children focused. I think one of the worst things that came in were the league tables.
What's that?
Where they used to publish them. I don't know whether they do them anymore. I think they stopped it around COVID, so people could see the top schools in the area and stuff like that. I thought that was not a very good thing for...
But what was that even based on?
SATs results. Basically, SATs results. I know.
How pathetic. Sorry.
SATs results. And that the rise of the SATs, and that was even pre me starting at school, becoming a teacher. The level of importance that's placed on them, I just think is altogether wrong.
It is.
And before, people used to try and keep it hidden, keep it away from the children. But you can see now that it's just about get these kids to SATs, get these kids for the SATs, get these. And I'm very bad. I still say to a year 6 child, these SATs really have nothing to do with you. They're not a measure of you at all.
They're not really bad. That's just the truth.
But but you're supposed to encourage them to do well. But it's not. You're not encouraging them to do well for their own sakes. You're encouraging them to do well because you want the school to look good. Because they're the only place. When they go to secondary school, let me tell you, they ignore the SATs completely. Exactly. They do their own baseline. So why are we...
I don't understand that because, like, by the way, this is my first year of teaching. So I've kind of I had a hint of what it was like that they did with assessments. But SATs and assessments, we were taught in our training year, it literally is a glance of learning, and it's not even a glance worth glancing at because there are children who assess well but kind of maybe do poorly. If you looked at their books, they won't really be giving you anything. But there are children who assess quite badly due to the pressure of getting things right, getting all the questions right, doing all the questions, being under a time frame. And I'm talking key stage 1.
There are also children who, if you do not engage them, you lose all that potential.
That's it.
That's the thing. There are children that who will there's no point in this.
Yeah, and it's like...
And it's wrong because they're really bright, intelligent children. Yeah. When I was in year 6, when I was teaching in year 6, we used to do... And we were fortunate. It was one form elementary school. They put me in year 6. But he grouped it.
Okay.
The head teacher grouped it. And we used to do the levels, and a child started off where they had to get level 4 and that was fine. And then it was like, actually what we really need is loads of level 5s. And then they kept on moving the goalposts. And it was my job to teach the level 6 group. So I used to take it to, make sure by Christmas everybody could get a level 5 paper. And it was it sounds quite draconian, but these children had it in them anyway.
Yeah.
So we did it, and then after that, like now it's like we're going to just work for the SATs.
Yeah.
We were able to get level 5, and then it'd be like, okay, game done. We know you're level 5.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what we can do with this. Let's go on and see what we can do with this.
Yeah.
And that was wonderful because we did the Brilliant Club stuff where the children had to do a 1,000-word essay. So that improved their writing. And they'd all start off in January saying, I can't do this, 1,000 words. And then by the end of it all, they'd done it. And it was really a lovely thing because it was almost like they graduated to universities. This is the other thing. It was about spotting potential. And then it was about, they'd go off to Oxford and have a graduation ceremony and things like that. And so it was all things, it was about giving these children a taste of what they could get and what they could be. So I didn't mind that. I thought, that's fine. If you don't get your level 6, you don't get level 6. But at the end of the day, you know. Yeah. But the other thing about that, and I was thinking about that this morning, was if there were children there who had... The head teacher at this school that I was at was very good at spotting potential. Mm-hmm. And there would be children there where their parents... for whatever reason, weren't as invested in education. And a lot of it was because they were EAL or they had like 2-3 jobs or all things like that. So they couldn't be there to make sure the reading was done. And you will know as much as I do, because I was a bright child. Bright children can be the laziest children possible. And if you haven't got anybody there saying, do the work, you ain't going to do it.
Ain't doing it.
Because at the end of the day, you can go into class and get by.
Yep.
You can go.
I was a get by child.
You can go, you can go to class and get by. You can even get through an exam and papers and tests like that. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you can retain knowledge.
You get it, yeah.
And so loads of potential was being wasted. But if they got into this group, this is the only time that SATs ever came into, I thought was became worthwhile. If they were in my group and they got at the end... they got their level 6s. When they hit secondary school, no secondary school worth its salt was going to say, actually, this child was level 6 at that age. They're working at year 8, year 9 level. Yeah. I'm not going to ignore them, so I'm just going to be riding them all the way through until... Because I know they can work. I know that they can shine. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And that was the only time that I've ever thought SATs were worthwhile. Yeah. That is it. But then people would be doing that anyway. And I do think schools should have some accountability about how children start and how children end. Yeah. I think there should be value added.
I think absolutely.
But I just don't like the way it's being done.
I personally, I feel like assessments are really, they add on a lot of workload for teachers and they don't show the potential like you were speaking about of the children.
Every teacher worth their salt, every decent teacher knows where those children are. And I don't understand why teachers are dismissed as experts. And you still have to have a piece of paper to write it all out. For year 1 child, I mean, what is that? And parents don't want it.
Yeah, they don't. And...
what do they want? Do they want them to do an assessment? Do they want, at the beginning of the year, my child couldn't read. Now my child can read. That's it.
Like, you know what I mean? Life skills. Yeah. And I understand.
Tying a shoelace.
Yeah.
Tying a
shoelace. You can read 1,000 books and you're in,
I can remember
the top
being
group.
In reception and having those shoe boxes and tying a shoelace. And I can be, as a teacher, teaching a reception class in the year 1 class, tying shoelaces. Don't do that now.
No, you don't.
And that is something you need to do.
Exactly. They need to, and even cutting. I remember being able to cut when I was about maybe in year 3. Yeah. There are children in year 5 that don't know how to cut straight, that don't know how to colour in the lines. That gives me anxiety. I can't do mindful colouring with year 5. No. Year 2 fairs, you're still learning it. But year 5, you're going to secondary school, babe. You can't colour in the lines.
But it's all about fine motor skills, isn't it?
Yes.
They're not taught
and focus, concentration. That's all being taken away by so many other things.
And people panicking about they've got to be this level, they've got to be this level, they've got to be this level, they've got to be this level.
Yeah.
So and they forget about what really matters.
So that mattered, and that was like a really good change that you saw in the SATs. What do you think have you found, like, towards your retirement that changed for the better or the worse?
Again, the SATs.
Really?
Yeah, because the SATs now, there is no scope for potential. It seems to be what we need to get to make our school look good, not what is good for the children.
Yeah.
Not
it's very
will
much like
this child
school-based,
go,
not children-based.
Yeah, it's SATs are just not.
It doesn't help.
They're not.
It's a requirement.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not child focused at all.
Yeah, and I think slowly we're trying to get back to it, like schools being children focused. But the added workload makes it really hard for teachers to really delve into that, like looking at like the majority of what your children are into and making a whole lesson out of that.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
There's not much leeway that we have anymore. That
and it's not
teachers
things
had.
like, I used to teach art once a week.
Yeah.
I used to literally have a whole art, an hour and a half a week to teach art. That's unheard of now.
Yeah.
Do you know, it is unheard
I
of.
miss glitter.
Yeah,
I miss tissue paper.
It is.
Do you
You
know what I
knew,
mean?
and that was.
And it was hot. It was
Yeah.
trays, boxes
Yes.
of that stuff.
Yes.
There was glitter on the floors. Them
Exactly.
cleaners were really pissed at us because we were going ham. Glitter on the
So,
Pritt
yeah,
stick,
yeah.
PVA glue.
Yeah. And everybody
Victoria.
knew, we're doing art. It's art today.
Yeah,
We're doing art.
Aprons. We had
Yes.
aprons.
Or even an old shirt.
Yeah.
But now, there's just no time. You can't fit it all in. We can't fit it in.
Because we're just trying to fit all the things that don't matter as much to the children that they're not going to remember.
Everything seems to be what appearance is now and what it looks like. And da, 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 da. But that is from on high. That's not the actual schools or the teachers.
No,
fault.
no, no.
That's what... Every time we get a new government... I'm getting political here because I feel very strongly about this. Every time it seems to be a new government or a new party comes in, the first thing they do is interfere with the education system. They do something because it's a big hit.
Yeah.
And you can guarantee none of their children are going through it.
Yeah, it's true.
And if they are going through it, they can afford tutors at home. So it's not going to really affect their children. But we can fiddle with other people's children and it'll be all over the news and it's a big hitter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
I want to talk a little bit about your field of expertise, which is in the special educational needs arena of education. I think it's it's starting to gain traction now, but it's such an overlooked place or area within school that needs so much more attention than it has now, like bar funding. Because there is a need for, funding for SEN children and what they need and stuff like that. But were there any changes that you saw in 2006 that have changed since you've?
I know it's not great, but I can guarantee you in 2006 it was diabolical.
I could imagine.
It was really, really bad. And it was just a lack of education on the part of the experts. And the parents weren't educated. It was... people just didn't know what to do. They just thought, we'll just get a TA and have them with them.
Babysit.
Yeah, babysit. They want them in mainstream. But sometimes it's not appropriate for them to be in mainstream.
No.
And if you want them in mainstream, then you've got to give them the appropriate work to be in mainstream. And nobody seemed to be getting that balance. And I remember and it still happened up until very recently, actually, up until even when I was 2020, 2019, where you'd get the expert teacher from the local authority come to the school and give you all these things. But it was never anything that you could use practically. It was just like, but we can't do that. It was almost like, yeah, you've got to do this and this and this and set this up and move that and take all those coats out. It's like, but we can't, how can we physically do that?
We can't.
So if you're not going to give us anything tangible we can do,
Yeah.
I'd suggest you don't come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they weren't giving teachers the support they needed. All they do is give teachers a list of all the things they were doing wrong. And they didn't give them the training.
No.
And so, again, it was a case of actually this has got to improve. You've got to build the relationship. And I think the main thing, the difference, and you probably saw it when you first started, was actually I was very keen on the teacher having a relationship with that child in their class, because once they had that relationship, they became invested in that child.
Yes.
The times that they came and it was always there naturally anyway. But when you get a teacher who says, I don't know what to do, what can I do to help? What can I do? How can I support them? And you tell them and they do it. They're like, oh my goodness, right. They're invested in how they're doing it. They're invested in how
because those children can make progress too. It may not look like how you would normally see it look like, but they can make progress
and
too.
that's the thing. That's the time when that's a trigger for them. That's like, actually, I want them to do. I want to be able to say to them, at the beginning of the year they didn't do this, but here they're sitting there and they sang the whole rhyme, and watch them. I've seen them. Look at them here. I've got a video of them here, and she's swimming across the whole pool. You know what I mean? And teachers see that. Teachers see. Actually, that's the big picture for that child.
Yeah.
But before, it used to be they get a one-to-one, they're out all the time. And the times I've had teachers saying, well, their one-to-one didn't have anything to do with them. They didn't have any work to do.
That, to
and then
this
I
day,
used to be,
boils my blood.
What did you do? What have you, because it's not for them. They're not their teachers, you are.
Yeah. So you need to be the director.
This is quality first teaching. What are you planning for that child? Do you know what I mean? So when and I did a thing that was actually quite cruel of me, because the teachers in your school are very, very, very good, but they had to be told in concrete terms. You have PPA. How many hours do you have for PPA? How much time do you spend planning for the 30 children in your class? If you allocate that amount of time to every single child, you can at least allocate the same amount of time to this child as well.
Exactly.
You've got people now that you can go to who will tell you what to do in that time. So you've got no excuses. And when you formulate it like, this is how much every single child in your class needs, use that time, they use it.
Yeah.
So although it's still a struggle,
It
the struggle is just funding. It's not people's attitude anymore.
No.
Whereas before it was attitudes. It was, I can't say anything to their mum. I can't see the point in having parents' evening with their mum because they can see, but I never get that. You don't. So that is a really, really good change, and it's something that you should all be proud of.
I think that multi-agency that you, I think you fostered so much more of it in our school. That multi-agency has really blessed the children, the parents of SEN children, because they come into, schools thinking, my son's or daughter's going to be labelled.
Yeah.
They're not going to be like the other kids and stuff like that. But what we've been taught by you is that basically, like, we're working with the parents to give that child their own lane of progress. And I had a parents' evening with one of the children who is SEN in my class, and there was tears at that meeting because of the attentiveness that I gave to this child and the gratitude that she had just for letting, for that child being seen in the class and celebrated for their differences, because I'm not trying to hide the fact that this child is a SEN child.
A lot of those parents are so isolated.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know what I mean? They've got no one. They've got no one to talk to. They go to the teacher and the teacher's like, I can't tell you anything. Or they've just constantly speaking to... And this is where the frustration builds. This is where the frustration was building. And now they have someone they can go to. They know they can go to the class teacher and talk about if they had a good day or a bad day.
Yeah.
If they're because class teachers can tell you if he was a bit down today, or he was a bit happy today, or he was a bit did anything happen over the weekend?
Yeah.
And they'll talk to you about it, and then they know they can go to the LSA for their learning, and they know they can go to the Senko about what steps they should be looking for and what type of secondary schools.
Yes.
I remember when I first started, and I'd be saying this person needs specialist school. This person would be like, no, we're never going to get them into it. And I went, I think we will. I think we will. And all of the children that I pointed out right from then who were going to go to, you know who the children are, all went to specialist schools. You know what I mean? It's like, because that's what they needed. They do not need to be sat next to an adult at the back of the class on their own.
Because it doesn't help them.
They need space. They need to swim every day. They need this every day. They need music therapy. They need intensive interaction. This is what they need. You made them happy. You made them secure. You gave them the space.
Yeah.
You've helped in their learning journey.
Yeah.
This is what they need to progress as well.
Oh, I love having these conversations because people in the education space who just get it with the SEN children are my favourite kind of people because they are actually the biggest teachers of how to be an educator. I've learned so much from SEN children and being a one-to-one that I will take with me throughout my career. There was one time, it wasn't in our school, I was a one-to-one in another school. I was looking after a little girl for lunchtimes only. And walking through the corridor, this little girl had the sweetest smile, like butter wouldn't melt. Walking through, and I was warned that smile, don't mistake it for sweetness because she's a wild one. She's a wild one, in a sense that she just is very self-directed. So I said, okay, fine, no problem. You know, you come in with confidence, thinking, oh yeah, nah, it's fine. You know, I'm not new to this, so you know, whatever. Walking hand in hand through the corridor. Come on. There's like intervention tables on the corridor with loads and loads of pencil pots and stuff like that that someone had left out. The child smiled sweetly to me and cleared that table with the pencil pot. And I was in so much shock because it happened so quickly and so unprovoked. But the sheer joy that gave her, I was like, and the lesson that I got from that was, do what makes you happy, babe.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy, babe, because we've only got one shot.
Yeah.
Just go for it, babe.
And they do.
Yeah, it's gonna sort itself out.
Yeah.
It's gonna sort itself out. So yeah, like I've learnt so much from the SEN children and being a one-to-one and also like inclusive practice. That is one of my that's at the forefront of like
and the thing is, you're a really inclusive teacher, and it's because you do the little tweaks. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a great big show. No. It's just like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to change a bit of lighting, we're going to put this here, and that's it. Job done. It doesn't have to be a great big
hoo-ha.
Yeah, it doesn't. And I think a lot of people think to begin with, oh, I've got to do this is too much. And that is a fallout from the specialist teachers that used to come in and say you have to do all of this. And it's like, you can't do all of that.
You can't.
That's not going to work.
It's literally getting to know somebody and creating an environment where they feel comfortable and safe. That's what you do with all the children, though. So, so the next question is, what emotions showed up for you right before you retired and had your big change?
Oh, gosh. I was talking about
that. There were a few times where we couldn't deal with it. There's a lot of us in that school that were like, just counting down the days. And you just can't imagine someone not being there. Where she works, I walk past there and I'm just like, the pink keyboard ain't there. Just nothing's there. It's a void. But how did you feel? Because you must have been...
I felt that a lot happened. It was in the last 18 months.
Yes.
And had those things happened individually, because things like that had happened earlier in my career, but they'd happened with space.
Yes. Yeah.
But everything happened in very quick succession.
Yeah.
I mean, because like what happened was in the November, my mum died.
Yeah.
In the February, my sister died.
Yeah.
And in the March, I was diagnosed with my cancer returning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just thought, and it was at that point I thought, no, I can't. The nature of the job that I have, because I do safeguarding and
Yes.
stuff like that, is, and it's not just safeguarding, it wasn't just a safeguarding, it was the send as well, because you see parents and children at their most vulnerable.
Yes.
And the nature of my job, the thing that underpins my job is hope.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I felt to myself, I can't keep, I can't do that. You can't do, everybody says fake it till you make it. With that, you've got to be genuine. And I was going through stuff that I was just hammering down. And I just said, no, these people are worth more. And I always said I was going to retire at 60 anyway, because I thought it gets to the point where you just think, actually, you know, you've got to park it, let the youngsters.
And the baton.
It was ready. There's so much in the school. You're ready to, you know. So I wasn't worried about leaving, but then I thought, no, I can't, it would be going through the motions and fake, and what they need is the real me. You can't do a job like I was doing without being real. And when you're sitting there and a child's done you this, and you want to sit there and cry with the child, it's like, that's not appropriate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not appropriate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Time to go.
So it's like, no, I've got to be able to listen to you and not think this is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, weighing you down.
Yeah, I feel this is terrible. Yeah, I'm having a really bad morning because I'm really worried about this. Oh, yeah, as well, babe. Let's sit and cry together.
Same, babe, same.
You know what I mean? And I thought, and I needed that time, because I didn't do that before early in the career. I just carried on. First time I had cancer, 2012. I took 2 weeks off. That was it. I had my operation, took 2 weeks off.
Victoria.
And then I went straight back to work.
Straight back.
And then you have this mindset where you think, right, this is it, I'm needed. And so I went then, as Connor said to me, you literally left. You had your 2 weeks off, and then you went back and you went, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and apply for the most stressful job in the most stressful borough in Hackney. That's where I'm going. And it's like, they lived on tenterhooks all the time I was there, because the stress was just boom, boom. And I took on safeguarding as well, which in Hackney was like, wow. And it was, they knew that my levels, the stress levels that I was just pushing it down, just going normal.
Yeah.
And that wasn't healthy at all.
No.
And so I left that job, and I came, when we went, remember when we started, COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is how I was containing my stress, because I had to run the school. Yeah. Because it was all the inclusive, and it was best time of my life.
that season where all of the SEN children were able to just dominate the playground. Yeah.
And then we lived in they were all remember
in the
they're
bubbles.
all over in their pods, and there was this. And he was sitting next to his sister, and it's like, you got to get to know her. You got to learn to respect her.
They loved it,
and it was a really stressful time. And we had children again who were either their parents were key workers. We had children whose parents were working in the ICUs and having to wash, and nobody knew what was happening. Yeah, and we had to give them all the support that we could. Yeah. And we could do that because we thought, oh, you know what? This is here. Yeah. This is normal for them. We can make it normal. Yeah. So that's it. But then, again, I'd had a space. Do you know what I mean? I'd had a space, and I had a bit of time. And then we had the roller coaster with Natasha and everything at the park, and then all the business with the governors. And then as soon as we thought, oh, we're going to get a new head teacher, it just literally this happened to me, and I thought, I'm not gonna roll it out again. No, you not can't. For just another year. So I'm just going to step back and see how it goes. Yeah. And that's why I made that decision. So my emotions were and are still all over the place. There's still things that I have to take a step back and go, whoa. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it was like recently the anniversary of my sister's passing and November again. But it was really, a case of actually, you know what, there are things that I actually want to do that I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
And so that's why, and I wouldn't have, I don't know, I think I would have lost the momentum had I. So I needed to take this time to rebuild. And when you rebuild, you give yourself space.
Yeah.
And then you have a lot of time to do knitting, which
Yeah.
is very contemplative. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly.
And you can deal with your stress and
Emotion.
do your healing properly and not on the run. Do you know what I mean?
That
I do
is-
Tai Chi now, lots of yoga.
Tai Chi.
Yes. You know what I
A
mean?
martial
But
arts
you never,
babe.
you never did that. It was like, it was so funny. It was like when, you know how it was when just before Natasha was diagnosed and everything like that. And me and Claire Batch, you know, the business manager, decided, oh, we're gonna learn how to roller skate. And that's what we did. Without thinking
Yeah.
that actually Claire
Yeah.
was thinking, what if one of them breaks their hip and what if this
Yeah,
happens?
yeah, yeah,
Never
yeah,
even
yeah,
thought
yeah.
about it. Just thought, oh, we're going to... And
We're just
afterwards
gonna
it was
do
like,
it.
oh, that's terrible. We really should have thought. Why are we putting ourselves in that position?
I think what you have left us with, I think the main message for me is that know when it's time to start, know when it's time to change, and with that change, like, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, find those pockets of hope, as you said, and those pockets of joy. Because what then are you living for?
I know.
Like,
And I finished teaching, honestly, I finished teaching. I've actually saying that my friend has asked me to go back and do a year 6 play
Right.
because their
you're a director.
teacher left. So
Creative.
I'm actually going in to do this. So I'm actually finishing teaching on a high point.
Yeah.
So I'm retiring, but I'm not retiring from life or retiring
No.
from work even. I'm just, and I don't think I'm even retiring from education or educating. I'm just taking it to a different
Changing your
way.
course.
Yeah.
Love
Which
that.
is what I did in the first place. I started off educating about photography, then I went into educating,
Yeah.
and now I'm going to educate a different way.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
it. I see it as like the Thames.
It's like a river.
Yes.
Meandering.
Yes.
In different
I'm
courses.
meandering, yes.
The current is changing. Look at that. So yeah, last question. What encouragement do you have for those who are on the front line of the inclusion space, whether it be a teacher, one-to-one, whatever, and those who want to have inclusive practice in their classrooms? What encouragement would you give them amidst all the changes?
Amidst all the changes,
yeah.
I would think, and you can testify to this, what I worked really, really hard at doing was building a support network. So that if someone wasn't there or someone was struggling
Yeah.
and they didn't feel like they could come to me and say, I'm struggling, there was always someone else that would come in and say, I think such and such is struggling. Not, they're rubbish, they can't do their job, which is, I'd gone through a lot where somebody would, and remember I used to get really frustrated when they'd get somebody from an agency who'd never worked with a child before, and then it went wrong.
I can't.
And then they'd go, oh, they were so rubbish. And it was like, no, they weren't.
Yeah.
They just did not have the support.
Yeah.
And so it's like, use that. Build your support network. Even if you've got the leader can't be there to do it for you all the time, do it amongst yourselves and be supportive. So many times, particularly at the school we were at, people came in and said, well, I'm going to work with that child today and they can come here. Or I'm going to go to nursery today and they can come here.
Yeah,
we
it's
can
always
just swap
we're having
it out.
each other's back. Yeah.
And that's what you've got to do. That is what you've really, really got to do. Even at the top level, because they're really, it's not that they don't care. It's that they get it from everywhere.
Dealing with so many
and the
other
parents as well. You know what I mean? Even at that, cut them some slack.
Yep.
Because they are trying. And
I
it's
think
not their
everyone's
fault. They're not. It's
Yeah.
not their fault. But I just do think that you have to have your support network and your levels of expertise. Because you did all teach everyone. When we did we were I think we were the first school that did all that online education.
Yeah.
And remember, we had Vanessa who taught everybody how to do the shared screens
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this,
yeah,
that, and the
yeah,
other.
yeah.
And otherwise, it would have been, I don't even know how to use computer. I can't use this, I can't use that. But you taught each other how to do that. You taught each other the musical interventions. You taught each other zones of regulation. You taught each other, the level of expertise is there and rely on each other.
I love that. So What have you been up to now since?
What have I been up to now?
Since you've had a little time on your hands. I know you're knitting.
Yeah. I am. Well, is it bizarre? I don't know. I have decided to become a filmmaker.
A filmmaker, guys. Look at
filmmaker.
that. No, it's not bizarre for you. You're doing Tai Chi. Come on.
It's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to work in the film medium. Mm-hmm. And I do write. I've been writing for a long, long time. And then I took a script and adapted it into a screenplay. I've written a couple of screenplays anyway, but I took a script for a short film and adapted it into a screenplay. And we're in the process of, we're in development. That's what it's called. We're in development.
I love that.
And we've got lovely people along. It's turned into, we've got animators because part of the script is animated. We've got wonderful actors. The adult actors are really good. I've got a production team. I've got board. I know it's a bit scary. That's why I wake up in the middle of the night going, "Oh my god,
you're a busy gal."
It is. It's and it seems to be coming together, and it is something that's very close to my heart.
Yeah.
And it's about a teacher.
Wow.
Who takes a group of EAL children to the library on a class trip.
I need to see it.
Yeah,
I need to see it.
It's very, and it's not about the children. It's not for children, but it's about the children and just the trip where the child goes. One of the children goes missing, and the bureaucracy she has to face, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just how libraries are meant to be a safe space. So I'm very passionate about libraries because I grew up in libraries. I worked in libraries as well as a teenager.
Really?
Yep. So
libraries
best
are great.
Saturday
I
job
got my
I ever
library
had.
card.
Yeah.
I brought my library card. I registered for a library card recently, and I've taken out 4 books. You know what? I encourage all adults to take out library cards.
It's good
because it keeps the libraries alive.
And the thing is, also with the children who are new to English, who don't speak the language, you take them to a library and they find a book in their own language it transforms them.
Yep.
Because I know this book. I can read this book. I don't need to read The Dog.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my God, I'm reading Harry Potter. This is what I used to do.
Yeah.
And it gives them a bit of, yes, I can go back. I can see what I was. I can be the person that I know that I can be.
Yeah.
And then it's just like all the where the animation comes in is where the children get their books and they go into their own little worlds.
Little worlds,
like so I think it's really nice. And,
it sounds amazing.
The people who were working on it have all said, "Oh yeah, this is really good." I've got a lot of people going, "Can I work on this in any way, shape, or form?" And I'm like, "Okay."
As well as a former thespian, whatever I can do, I could be the water girl, babe. I could be the water girl.
I've got chaperones sorted out. Well, I've got to get them trained up, but it's just using the network,
that
the community
absolutely
that I know, and then having little people that are incredibly talented and watching their talents develop over the years and saying, you know what, can you come and do this for me as well, so we can make this work and highlight the plight of these children, because obviously it was different. You're dealing with, but it resonated because we're dealing with like refugee children and stuff like that. There are what we go, well, I don't like EAL. You know, I don't like that term anyway. It doesn't even make sense.
English alternative language. It's not a sentence. It's weird.
It's not, but it's like these are what we have a group of children and their parents who can't speak the language, and they don't. And I've always said they're different now. They're not coming. You call them economic migrants, but it's not like they've got a nice job set up.
No,
they're
coming for refuge.
They're coming to try and build a life, but they don't want to be here. They've lost all their friends. They've lost all their homes. They've lost their school. They've lost everything. And then we say to them, "You're really making life in my classroom difficult because you can't speak the language. So I'm going to take your language as well, and you have to have mine." So it's I think
that shouldn't be the case when we have Google Translate.
Yeah. And
all of these things.
you saw the news last year as well, and I think the film was a chance to humanise those children and say, whilst you're outside hotels shouting, these are the children that you're protesting about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think so it's something that's really close to my heart.
That is so exciting.
You know
Please let me know, and I will let She Community know, so we can all get the tickets and come.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing what you're doing. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. Beyond, being a guest for She Converse, thank you so much for being a guest in my life. What in the world? Like you have been so pivotal in my career, in my life. The closed door conversations that we've had has really shaped me as a person and as an educator. So thank you so much. So this wraps up our episode. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.